This is a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest winter storm update.
Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel Forecast Center. We're watching a very unusual type of winter storm where it has spread ice across a large portion of the south. Also some ice changing the snow from Virginia right on into Maryland. Here's our satellite photograph, and one thing that we do see is a low pressure area over North Florida. That's trailing a cold front and even a secondary area of low pressure developing along that front. East of the front, east of that, another little front here. So the coldest of the air now beginning to drain down, but by far the coldest of this air mass coming down from the northwest from Canada. We should see high pressure covering portions of the deep south by the time we think Monday is here, but still a large portion of this storm to deal with. From Florida, we're looking at thunderstorms to the north, ice. In fact, last night into today around Tennessee, it has been snowy and icy. Some of those scenes at Mont Eagle, of course, in southeast Tennessee, up on Interstate 24. Combination of freezing rain, sleet, and some snow. That's what caused the problems. Look at those icicles hanging from that sign there. Well, today the ice has continued even nearby areas of Tennessee, up to 6 inches of sleet and freezing rain. Into the Tidewater area of Virginia, of course, that is southeastern Virginia. Freezing rain and sleet, that has caused a big mess. By far, it is much harder to drive on the freezing rain. So some trouble areas stretching from Virginia all the way into Texas. Yesterday into Texas, some snow. But really, the heavier the snow fell north of the Red River Valley into central and northern Oklahoma. Some areas up to 8 inches. But then another little swath of snow from Tennessee right on into Delaware. As we check out the latest with our weather map here, notice to the north, that is our snow line right through here. All the gray and white, that's snow. Then a little bit farther to the south, the green, that is all of our rain. But what we are worried about mostly is all this orange right in between here. That is either sleet or freezing rain. Latest radar showing the northern fringe around Nashville. Your snow has picked up again into the Tennessee Valley. Some snow, but at Birmingham, also at Tuscaloosa, you're looking at a sleet storm, even a little bit of sleet around Chattanooga. Some heavy snow has been reported right across southern Maryland over to Calvert County, also over to Salisbury, and right on up to around Rehoboth beach area. In fact, very interesting, the eastern shore of Maryland, being from Baltimore, too many times I know in Baltimore we'd get the snow, and to Salisbury just would not happen. But this has happened in the exact opposite way, where from Salisbury 8 inches to nearly 15 inches at Rehoboth, and still the snow continues in this area. Earlier, some reports of a little bit of freezing rain as far east as Greenville, North Carolina, and Pitt County right there, and also into the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. Polk County, Tennessee, right in through here, that is where we had the report of 6 inches of ice. I imagine a combination of sleet and freezing rain. Even just north of Atlanta now, some reports of temperatures getting very close to freezing. So we're looking at temperatures colder, so plenty of ice and sleet to the north. Reports out toward Powder Springs and north and west of a little bit of icing. So far, let me reiterate, no problems with the highways. Here's the latest with radar covering the Mid-South. We do have an end almost of the precipitation, but another weaker disturbance, still a little bit of light snow lagging behind. The main story for this whole region now is going to be the cold weather, and actually how hard it's going to be to repair some of those power lines that have fallen with the ice. It is not going to melt anytime soon. Around Birmingham, some sleet. Atlanta, you will see that later this evening. The northern suburbs changing over to that mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow probably sooner than the rest of the city, because that's where the cold air is coming from. Then looking to the north, over to the big cities in the east, you're not done. Up at D.C. and Baltimore and up to Philly, New York, and Boston, you're going to see some snow. In fact, the snow is coming back into Washington. Here's the latest with the temperatures. This morning at Tower, Minnesota, minus 60. That is the coldest temperature ever for the state of Minnesota. So it shows you the power of this air mass. Also at Helena, Montana, reports of temperatures all the way down to minus 42. That is the coldest ever for Helena. And into Iowa, we're looking at the coldest readings in 20 years, so extremely cold air. But to the south, where the air is still tropical and flowing from the south, with our cold front showers and thunderstorms, even into Franklin County near Alligator Point to come into Florida, the possibility of a freeze, we're watching that. We'll keep you updated on this ice and snowstorm and also this very cold air mass. Let's go to the studio with the rest of our forecast.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rich. A quick look at our forecast, and you'll notice the storm coming out of the southeast, the Gulf Coastal region tonight, heading off the North Carolina, Virginia Capes, and we end up with that snow starting to finally taper off as we go from noon tomorrow into late afternoon. There's also more wet weather on tap for the west coast. It looks like, at least we've been looking at the satellite pictures today, there's a big storm well west of the coast, but what we think will happen is eventually southwest upper level winds will get closer and closer to California, and eventually on and off rain will set in for a while. Speaking of rain, torrential rain expected with some of these storms in the southeast this afternoon and tonight, 2 to maybe as much as 4 inches of rain possible. And then you can see your heavier snow band coming out north and west of the low-level storm track. That pushes it back across Virginia, parts of the eastern shore of Maryland, central and southern Jersey, perhaps picking up significant snowfall. Very low numbers tonight. We had readings last night as low as 60 below zero, all-time state record. That was in Tower, Minnesota. And tomorrow's highs stay well below zero in Tower and most of northern Minnesota, in the 20s over a large part of the southeast.
Used to be just one way to get through an icy winter.
Walk like a penguin.
But now there's a better way. Safe Step Ice Melter, so you don't have to.
Walk like a penguin.
Safe Step won't harm grass, won't stain carpets, and works even below zero. Safe Step Ice Melter, tough on ice, gentle on everything else. Pick some up today, or else you might.
Walk like a penguin.
Look for Safe Step Ice Melter at a store or janitorial supply distributor near you.
Now your local forecast. Accurate, convenient, and dependable. Only on the Weather Channel.
Virginia. There will be a lot more as we go through the overnight hours.